So the concept around planning for natural disasters, I mean, at the end of the day, they're predictably unpredictable. Depending on where you are, depending on what part of the country you live in, you know that there are certain types of events that are going to happen. If you live in the Southeast, you live around the Gulf, you know at a certain time of year, where we happen to be, you're going to have hurricanes. If you're in the northern tier, you know to expect blizzards. If you're out on the West Coast, you know that there's a wildfire season. All of these things are predictable, but when the actual events will happen are things that you're not necessarily going to know about. So what you need to do is get in front of that. So what I've seen companies do, if we look at some of the utilities in Florida, say, or down in the Caribbean, is you start laying in additional stock. You look at what you expect to plan for. You're not going to plan worst case. So if you think about the storm that's hitting right now in Florida, no one has enough stock for what's about to come. When Milton comes in, no one has laid in the right types of supplies. No one has laid in enough supplies because you don't plan for that kind of a worst case scenario. They will plan for a Category 2 storm to understand what it is that they need. But you lay in that extra stock well in advance of hurricane season or the storm season or whatever the seasonality that you're anticipating based on the type of anticipated disaster that you're going to face. But you bring those things in, you have them available, you have them ready, and you're ready to go and execute when the storm comes. You want to pre-position those supplies as best as you can in the places that you think they're going to be most useful to have, but also that they're going to be safe. So you don't want to put things in an area where they're going to get washed away or things like that. You also want to leverage areas that you think will be relatively safe. So right now, there are fleets of trucks parked in Alabama and Georgia and South Carolina waiting to move south into Florida. So when that storm passes through, those crews will be able to go in order to be able to offer the relief that's needed in order to help Florida get back on its feet as quickly as possible.